Welcome to Cruise Day Fun Live. It's great to have you with us here today, whether you're watching live or from the future. So if our camera setup looks a little different today, I had some camera issues and we had to switch back to the old camera. So hopefully you're seeing and hearing us okay. We have a lot to talk about today. We are going to be talking Norwegian Escape, and we're going to be talking Norwegian Priority Access. We are going to let you know what our experience was at Port Canaveral, boarding the Norwegian Escape, and we're going to let you know what Priority Access offers and how it worked out for us. It's kind of our review of Norwegian's Priority Access.
That's right.
And then we are going to show you some of the most popular options for cabins, staterooms, I should say, probably, on the Norwegian Escape. So a lot to cover. We're glad you're with us here today, right?
Yeah.
A lot. Okay, so we are excited to get going, and we're especially excited to say hello to our friends, fellow creators, Cruising Scene. They're saying hello. Hello from Cruising Scene. We are glad to have you here. We are off and running. So much to share today. We're glad. Yes, we're glad you're with us.
Exactly.
So normally we'd take a little more time to get going here, but we're going to dive into the first topic because we want to cover that and let anybody watching who's interested in knowing what it's like to board Norwegian Escape, particularly at Port Canaveral, or maybe a different Norwegian ship at Port Canaveral. This is what happened to us.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is what happened to us.
Yes. So
this is our experience. We're not actors. This is our experience.
Oh boy, did I mention we have a lot to cover? We kept wasting time. So we arrived at Port Canaveral about 11 o'clock on our day. It was supposed to be a 4 o'clock sailing, and there was a line.
Oh man!
Once we parked our vehicle, there was a line of what did we say? About 100 people in line. At least 100 people
from the parking garage all the way to
at least 100 people in line, and that was just outside. And once you got through that line outside, you either had to take a single escalator, or there was an elevator kind of tucked away in the corner up to an area that entered the building to the security area. And there's probably, I don't know, another couple hundred at least people there. It was
just a long line all the way from the parking garage to the inside building.
Yeah, and the security was fairly quick. Once you got up there, you just went through the typical metal detectors. I don't think we had to take off our shoes or anything like that.
No.
But we got through security, and then you go down the hallways to a big
big waiting room.
Well, yeah, it's the check-in room with a bunch of employees waiting to help people. A couple different types of lines depending on your status or whatever.
Right.
And we got to the front of the line eventually, and and so we're ready to go in, and they're asking us our health questions, all this stuff. And strangely, they asked each of us to pose without our glasses for a photo, which I thought was a little strange because I submitted photos before the cruise when I did the check-in at home. But we did that. And then they went to get our room keys. Very exciting. And they came back and something was wrong.
Oh, no.
So there was a challenge. We'll get to that a little bit more in a little bit when we talk about our priority access, the priority access part of our experience. But eventually we got on board. We boarded through, I believe it was the atrium on deck 6 over by guest services, kind of the central area of the ship. And we had the option to go get something for lunch, which, hey, guess what? We
were hungry.
We did. So the options we heard about were we could go up one deck to deck 7 to Oceans, which we went to Oceans plenty, but we didn't choose that on this occasion. I heard rumors, I can't say because we didn't do it, but I heard rumors that they had a reduced menu on that first day for lunch because of so many people coming in. But also, I think you could go to a couple of MDRs.
The Taste or the Savor.
Yep, on deck 7. Or you could go to the buffet. The typical thing that most people seem to do when they get on the cruise ship for the first thing, they go to the buffet.
That's right.
We don't always do that, but we opted to do that this time. We went to Garden Cafe up on deck 16, and it was crazy. It was busy. It was definitely busy. And it was a challenge. The main challenge was to find a table.
Everyone has their suitcases or their bags, carry-ons, and you have to walk around them.
Yeah. So if you've cruised before, you probably know that scene. So nothing out of the ordinary for that. it was by then it was probably 12:30 or so, and by 2 o'clock they made an announcement, hey, your rooms are ready. So we went and checked out our room. We'll show you more about that in a little bit here, as we'll show you our room actually. And then our luggage showed up kind of a little later than I might have expected, but about 4 o'clock, maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5 o'clock.
So, we kind of had to scramble to get ready for dinner after that, because we had a fairly early dinner reservation at Cagney's, I believe it was.
It was so good.
So that's the high level of our first day, our boarding experiences. Some maybe not as smooth as we've experienced before. And we'll get to what it was like with the priority access in a moment, because the priority access does have a perk that involves the first day. But we'll get that in a minute. We should mention for the last day, the flip side, the sadder version.
The saddest day of a cruise.
Debarkation.
Yes.
And we were debating, is it debarkation or disembarkation? And I see it written both ways, but the last day.
Debarkation or deembarkation.
Or you making up a third one. Or disembarkation, or getting off the boat, getting off the ship.
Getting off the ship. It's so sad.
Yes. So basically, you're given two options, like on most cruises we've been on. You can take your own luggage in the morning, and you're like one of the first groups of people to get off the ship. But you have to handle all your luggage on your own. There's nobody to assist you. A lot of times we'll refer to it as self-assist. Or you can get the luggage tags and put your bags out in the hall. And where do they get the luggage tags on Norwegian Escape?
By the customer service desk. They like almost right around the corner. There's a spot where they have all the luggage tags, and they have the times for the luggage tags.
So you
depending on what group you're in.
Yeah, I think Carnival does it kind of similar, at least on the sailings we've been on. So that's not too uncommon. But the sooner you get your luggage tag, the better chance you have of getting the desired time frame you want.
Exactly.
So you can do that. Of course, the thing you always want to remember, if you do put your luggage in the hall with the tag on it, you're going to pick it up in the terminal the next morning. So you need to be sure you have a carry-on bag of something with whatever you're going to need from overnight and something to wear in the morning.
Don't be that person wearing your pajamas leaving the ship. You want to make sure they're decent pajamas.
Yeah. So that's how you handle getting ready. Other than shedding a few tears, you pack your bag, you put it in the hall, or you get ready to take it on your own.
Yeah.
You get called down in the morning to head on out. And when you get to the I guess it's the terminal building again, but it's the customs level where the luggage is waiting for you.
Right.
One thing that's a little crazy for us is we were in one of the earliest groups after the self-assist. So we kind of were like, they were kind of like still some stragglers that were self-assist that had their luggage in line. And others like us who, were among the first who didn't have our luggage.
Right.
And you get down there and you got to go grab your luggage and get back in that same line to go through security, through customs.
Nightmare.
And that was awkward because you basically had to cut back in line as politely as possible, because the only other option is to take your luggage all the way back up the ramp, the gangway, to get back on the ship to get the end of the line. No.
Oh my goodness, no.
It was rough. So you just kind of tried to smile and say, hey, sorry, because some people were doing that, some people didn't. So kind of a mess. Norwegian, I'm not sure if that's a Norwegian thing or if that is a Port of Canaveral terminal thing.
No, but we've been at other ports at Port Canaveral, and
it didn't happen that way. Yeah. So
it was smooth sailing.
Anyway, lest we sound like we're complaining, let's continue and say what else was wrong on debarkation day. A lot of people were looking for assistance because they had a lot of luggage, or they realized that what you noticed, which is you could get through the line faster if you had a sky cap assisting you.
Yeah.
How did that work?
You got a
sky
cap, and they would jump ahead of the line.
Yeah, they had a shortcut through. But how did it work out for us?
Not so much.
What did our sky cap do?
He kept walking.
Went
to the next person.
We didn't have one. They didn't have it. For whatever reason on that particular day at that particular time, there were enough sky caps. There were people, I think people were about ready to fight over sky caps.
I know,
screaming
it's dangerous.
For sky caps from the line. Hey, over here, I need one. Especially, I think, when they saw what Joy's talking about, that there was a shortcut they could take that we can't. So that was kind of a mess. So, hey, I don't know what's going on that particular day, but
if you were in a wheelchair, you got top priority.
Yeah, well, that's too. Yeah. Okay.
Not anything against people in the
Oh my God, it's getting worse. Let's continue. So the last thing we'll say, we'll try to end this on a high note.
I know.
For debarkation, disembarkation, I forget what you called it.
Embarkation.
Okay, deembarkation. The end of the cruise. Is the nice thing they had was they had that facial recognition. Where if you have a passport, you go through one line, you birth certificate, you go through another line. But with the passports like we have, you walk up, they have a camera, basically kind of a digital camera that recognizes your face.
Yep,
and they say,
and keep walking.
Yep. Well, after they say it's okay.
Yeah.
It took a minute to recognize me. I think my old picture didn't have as much gray hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting old. So that was our experience with the kind of a high level boarding and last day on Norwegian Escape. But we want to tell you about what it was like having priority access, because that made it a little bit of a difference. But first, we got to do this. Okay, it's today's trivia question. I think this one might be a repeat. So if you've been watching, you might have an advantage here. But today's trivia question is, which cruise line's logo features a crown and an anchor?
Oh.
You're saying it like you automatically know it.
I do.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. If you know the answer to this week's trivia question, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. And as I say, if you're watching from the future, wait until we give you the answer here and then put it in the comments. People will think you're really smart. Yeah, so that's a way to do that. So
all our viewers are very smart.
I know. And I think we've already got a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
The answer to the trivia question, which cruise line's logo features a crown and an anchor? Be sure to write this down at home if you are looking to put it in the comments.
That's right. Global
Geography is back with us again. And
hi,
Global Geography has the correct answer, Royal Caribbean.
Good job.
Yes, good job. They even have the Crown and Anchor Society or their loyalty club. I forget whatever it is.
That's right. We've used that club.
Yes, we're exclusive members. So that was today's trivia question. Now we're going to talk about priority access.
Yes.
Let's tell you what Norwegian's priority access has to offer you and what our experience was using it when we sailed on Norwegian Escape out of Port Canaveral.
That's right.
So let's see here. I'm going to go through and let you know what priority access offers you. So Norwegian's priority access includes priority check-in and boarding. Priority check-in and boarding. So you get a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of I assume that means you get on a little quicker than others. Carnival has Faster the Fun. Royal Caribbean has the Key. But all these programs work a little differently. But paying a little bit extra for priority check-in and boarding, let's tell you how that worked out for us. So there was a huge line outside the terminal. Over 100 people.
Yep.
No special line there, so we had to go through that. We went up the elevator. You go elevator or escalator.
Right.
Then you went through security. No special line there.
Yeah.
And you get through and you go to the main check-in area, and there's two groups of lines, or at least two groups of lines.
Yes.
But there's one reserved for priority access. We went through there. We didn't have to wait too long there before someone was ready for us.
Yep.
We got our picture taken again. For security purposes, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then they said, "Oh, we don't have your room keys." For everybody else, they seemed to have the room keys ready, but for some reason there was a snag, and our room key wasn't ready. So how long do you think we were waiting there while they went and made our room key?
It seemed like over a half an hour at least.
It was like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that.
It seemed a long time.
But we saw people in the regular line come and go. So that may have just been a snafu in the whole situation. But honestly, even if we did get a room key right away, I don't think we would have gotten on really any faster than anybody else, because we had to wait in those two huge lines before we even got to the counter.
I was able to watch the movie of my life and back.
Okay, well, that's one way to kill the time. That's the first feature that you get with Norwegian's priority access. The next feature is, you guessed it. No, we didn't guess it. Tender priority off the ship. And they do say on here, catch, or the footnote is when applicable. So tender priority off the ship. Now that means if you go to a port where you need to take the little boats, the little tenders, little water taxis, whatever you want to call them, you have priority to get onto them. not
That's
coming
right.
back off the island, off the port or whatever, but going off the ship onto the tender. You have a priority.
Yep, you can get
So,
on first, is what they
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. So
First or second.
earlier than most people.
Exactly.
I think the people in the suites are probably getting on before us, regardless.
Exactly.
But anyway, they kept putting these envelopes in our room for tendering, for welcome aboard, for debarkation, all that sort of thing. And in one of them, for the one port we had where tendering was required, and that was for Great Stirrup Cay.
That's their private island.
Norwegian's private island. The day before that, they put an envelope with this letter in it. And this letter was really confusing.
What did it say, Dan?
Well, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it basically says, for guests who have priority access, follow these instructions. And there's two possible options. If you need assistance, go to this area of the ship. If you're participating in a shore excursion, go to this other area. And then it doesn't say what to do if you have priority access and you're not needing special assistance, or you're not doing an excursion. And then it says, thank you once again, and we apologize for any inconvenience. So I think this is a poorly written letter saying, basically, in this case, at Great Stirrup Cay, priority access, their own private island, it didn't apply.
Yeah.
Which we didn't get a chance to verify that as it happens, because that stop was canceled because of high winds. We didn't even go into Great Stirrup Cay. So we can't really score or give a bunch of a review on that one, but based on the letter we got here, I think it probably wasn't going to be all that great for us.
Yeah.
I don't think that was very useful as a perk.
That should have been a precursor to what we were expecting.
Oh, you're getting a little ominous here. Okay, let's move on.
Dun.
So let's talk about the other flip side of what we talked about. So this is getting off the ship. Priority debarkation at home port.
That's right.
So do you remember the last day of our cruise? We didn't have to get the luggage tags. They brought us luggage tags to our room in one of these envelopes that gave us, priority to get off the ship a little sooner than others.
That's right.
So we were after like the suites and the people in the Latitudes Club with like the gold and platinum memberships.
Yep.
But we were before most of the other people.
Yeah.
We took the elevators down and headed through the Manhattan Club. I think it's called the Manhattan Dining Room. And what happened? Do you remember?
We were told to wait.
Yeah, there was a huge line. The line went through the dining room all the way down the corridor through the casino. And we got in this long line, and I didn't see a special line for priority access. So we're like, okay. And it just so happened a couple behind us had a gentleman who was very outspoken about the fact that he was not happy that he had priority access that he had paid for, and he was just in this big, huge line. And for better or for worse, I engaged with him and got in that conversation. Said, yeah, we have it too. Like surprised that's the case, that we're just in this huge line again, just like kind of the first day.
Right.
And one of the crew members overheard us and said, oh, you have priority access? Oh, you could go all the way up. You don't have to stay in this line. Just go up to her. And he pointed to a young lady, another crew member, all the way down in the dining room. And so us and that couple went down past all these people like, aren't we special?
Yeah.
And walked up to this lady and said, yeah, we have priority access. And
she just looked like their deer lights.
She had no idea what we were even talking about.
Yep, no idea.
Yeah, and so we kind of stood there, and I tried to explain it, then he tried to explain it, and finally another crew member talked to her and said, oh yeah, you could just let him through. So they opened up the velvet rope, let us cut through all the dining tables across the room, and then we had to make our way out of the velvet rope again to rejoin this line of people who were like, why are these people cutting?
I know.
Why didn't they have a special line or a sign at least that said priority access this way? So that didn't work out so well. So I don't know how to say this other than to make it sound like we're complaining, because it just really is just simply the facts. So that was that. The next perk is that you get standard room service breakfast for no charge. So standard room service breakfast is kind of like the continental breakfast. I think they've got a couple hot food items like an omelet or something on there, but mostly it's the cold cereal,
right,
yogurt, fruit, that sort of thing. And normally you would get charged $5 a day for a delivery of the standard breakfast. So you're saving $5 by having priority access. As it happened, we chose not to do it.
Yeah, we always went to either Oceans or one of the MDRs, and we had great service. And we didn't have to pay extra.
Yeah, and they had, yeah, that was true. And they had little hang tags in the menu for the room service menu, but strangely they didn't have holes
No
poked in them
holes
for
to
the hang
hang
tags.
it,
So
to put it on your door.
so I wonder how many people bothered with those, because we saw a couple people that you could tell they just stabbed them with a pen or something so they could put them on their doorknob.
Yeah.
The door handle for the room. So we basically chose not to use that perk, so I can't say really anything bad about it. You know, it's a perk that could save you, you know, $35 plus gratuities on a week-long cruise. But yeah, that's another feature. Also, with Norwegian's Priority Access, you get a $50 discount at the spa. Discount per person. $50 spa discount per person. And now the thing on this is it's only on port day, so you can't do it on a sea day.
Right.
So what did you think about that? Did you use that?
Well, I looked at the prices of the spa, and you'd still end up having to pay a little bit, you know, or a good bit of change. So
yeah, $50.
I can save that money and go on land and get my nails done, or my hair done.
So I think what you're trying to say is the $50 per person would be just like a little bit of a dent in the price. Not like a big, not a huge savings. But hey, if you were going to use a spa anyway, and you had priority access, that would be a great, great marriage of situations there.
I mean, if you really enjoy getting saunas and spa or thermal suites, or
you know me,
massages.
Oh yeah. So that is a feature that you could use. It could save you $50 per person if you choose to use that. Of course, you're going to have to make expensive money to it. It's like totally free. And the last perk is canopies. Canopies delivered on the second day of your cruise. And this is the one thing that I guess I would call it the one tangible benefit you get. It's actually something you get to look at and you can eat.
I didn't know what canopies were until...
Yeah, well, let's show them what we got. So on the second day, we came back to our room and we discovered this plate of bite-sized hors d'oeuvres. So that's what a canopy is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can tell by scale here how big they are, but basically this is kind of standard for a canopy, I think. Basically, they're bite-sized. If you tried to eat them in 2 bites, it would look comical. So they're just like little bite-sized, you know, hors d'oeuvres. I don't know what else to call them.
I was expecting a little bit more, but you know.
Yeah, maybe not super exciting or anything, but a nice little thing to come back to your room and find. But you know, we also had a different day where we came back and found chocolate covered strawberries that were given to us.
You had ordered them.
Did I? Oh, okay. Well, so I thought we got something for free because of the service issue we had.
Oh yeah.
So that's a different story. So should you get priority access? I didn't mention the price, but I'll give you an idea here of what you can expect. Of course, that's always changing. But for us, for 2 people, it's for the whole room, the whole stateroom. So it's not per person, but per stateroom for a 7-day cruise like ours, it was about $200. So considering it didn't really help us much getting on, it didn't really help us much getting off unless we wanted to be pushy, which we ended up being through partnership with this other couple, but wouldn't have been what my plan would have been. And you know, you really like the little bite-sized canopies and you want to use the spa maybe and this room service. For us, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it at all.
Yeah, you could have saved that money and gone on an excursion or had another specialty dining, or save it for the casino. Who knows, you know. So
I like bingo. Hopefully Norwegian works out some of the kinks on this and makes it so it's more worthwhile. If they actually had a banner at check-in that said priority access this way, before you were like actually up there at the line where there were equal sized lines, whether you had priority or not, it's pointless, you know.
Right.
And you know, had a plan for debarkation. If you're going to sell something saying, hey, you get priority debarkation, well, you need to have a system for that. It can't just be you tell them that and then you don't tell the crew, much less you don't even put up a sign to have a special exit or a special line, you know, a little rope or something saying you guys go this way. Otherwise, what are you paying for? So we don't recommend priority access. If you have a different experience, please let us know. Comment down below and let us know. If you found this information helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up, like this video, and if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe so you can follow us for future videos. But we have a comment here. Excuse me. Yeah, Cruising Scene said nice. So I was too busy talking. I'm not sure what part you thought was nice, but yeah, maybe the canopies. Probably the canopies.
Probably.
So yeah, it was nice, but if it was free, it would have been really nice. But since we're paying for it, it's kind of like, why? That wasn't nice. Anyway, let's move on to this next. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. You're over here dancing to it. Let's try this instead.
Hi, guess what time it is? It's Cruise Hero of the Week. And the Cruise Hero of the Week is Anthony Norta from the Philippines. He's a barista server at Starbucks on the Norwegian Escape. And he was so with it that he noticed when I was not there for 2 days.
Yes.
And when I came back, he's like, we missed you. And I was like, aw, you remember me and you missed me. So
way to go, Anthony, remembering my wife. I don't remember you remembering me. I don't know why my cup said Dave on it, but way to go, Anthony. No, I remember him. He did great. He was great.
He was very
and we did
friendly,
go to Starbucks a lot.
And he always made the correct order. And he knew what I liked. So it was good.
All right.
So Anthony, you made my day telling me that you missed me and
made
my drink order correct.
Okay. He missed you in a very plutonic business sense.
That's right.
Awesome. So that's our cruise hero.
I would show him my ring, say, I'm married. So that's our cruise hero of the week.
Yay! All right. So now let's take a look. Let's take a look at the rooms. You can let me put it differently. Let's say these are the staterooms.
Ooh.
The Norwegian Escape staterooms, the most popular staterooms. Let's check them out.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm checking it out.
Okay.
Getting myself ready to check out the rooms.
Oh boy. Norwegian Escape staterooms, starting with the balcony. The balcony is a stateroom that we opted for, and we really liked it. It had plenty of space. The balcony rooms range from 207 to 322 square feet, and they can accommodate up to 4 people. In our case, it was just the 2 of us, but they have a queen-size bed that you can convert into 2 single beds if you prefer, and they have the floor-to-ceiling glass doors that lead to the balcony. In our case, our balcony was an aft balcony, so it's a little bit deeper than the other balconies, but you get a little table and a couple chairs and an amazing view.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite spot of mine to go out and have my morning coffee in the balcony, on the balcony room.
It's so nice.
Yeah. And so we showed you what the room looks like for the bed and the balcony doors and all that. But looking the other direction, what was a little different with their setup on Norwegian Escape for the balconies is usually the closets on most ships we've been on are across from the bathroom. But in this case, they're actually next to that couch.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it a little tricky squeezing in there to get to the far side of the closet. But, it gave maybe a little more spacious entry area. One thing we really did like about the stateroom, the balcony stateroom, was by the beds. You remember what they had by the beds?
Oh, yes. The USB outlet.
Yeah, on the lights on both sides of the bed.
Right. It was so nice. So each side of the bed had one USB outlet that you can plug in your cell phone and have it charged up at night.
Yep. And on the opposite side, across from the bed, there was the TV. And the TV is probably, I don't know, like a 26-inch TV, something like that. A newer flat screen TV. It was a smart TV, so you could check your reservations, your dinner times, check your bill, that sort of thing on there. But down behind the water that we ordered there, their outlets, there were actually 3 American-style outlets, which is 3 times more than we found on a lot of cruise ships we've been on. So that was really awesome.
And the best thing about that TV
Mhm.
was it could come out a little bit, and you could
swivel it a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So if
if
you're
you're-
sitting, go ahead.
yes,
If you're sitting on the couch,
you could watch it, and if you're sitting on the bed, you could watch TV too.
awesome. And just down below there, out of your view there, you could see, we'll show you, there is a little mini fridge. It's kind of like a little cooler. I don't know if I'd call it a fridge exactly. It's a little small, and it had some extra items you could purchase. I think there was some white wine and a couple different kinds of water. Our recommendation, I'll say my recommendation is that you order water before your cruise. You're going to pay a lot less if you want the cartons of water.
And my tip is ask your room steward to remove those items from your refrigerator so you can put your own water or drinks in place of that, so you don't have to worry about trying to find room.
Or be tempted to purchase that expensive
You don't want to
water.
Purchase that unless you do.
Unless you do. So let's take a look at the schematic of the room. So this is the overhead view. So you can see that big couch, and across from it, it's got a little table, the mirror, and the bed. Then this is the queen size formation, which is what we chose to. And of course the balcony. And then you can see the bathroom there. Let's take a closer look at the bathroom. So the bathroom was, decent sized for a cruise ship. It had a nice modern look with a couple little shelves above on the mirror and a couple shelves below. And on the other side, you would have modern looking sink with a soap dispenser. And they had these cool little glasses. They were actual glass, and they had like a kind of a special formed bottom to them, so they would fit in these holders, so they wouldn't, fall over if the ship got too rocking.
Right, exactly.
Yep. And I know people are probably curious about the shower. If you haven't been on Norwegian before, you might be happy to know that they have glass doors. There on the left, you can see the door closed. It's not a curtain. It's an actual door.
It's so nice.
Yeah. And then on the right-hand side, you can see inside the shower, it's got the actual shower head that you can grab and use like a wand. And then the soap dispenser and body wash dispenser with a couple of baskets there. You can put your own hair products or whatever on.
And just one thing that I found after a couple days trying to find is the wastebasket is it's underneath the sink.
Oh yeah. It's kind of hidden down there in a cabinet below the sink. Yep. Good point. And the one last thing we didn't show in the bathroom, and the bathrooms are going to be similar in most of the rooms on board, but we wanted to show you the setup here because a lot of times people ask about it. The toilet might not be a big deal if you haven't been on a cruise ship before, but it's actually situated in a way where it's not stuck in a corner. So it's actually easy to sit on, and kind of down there where there's that Kleenex dispenser. Over past that is the door that Joy's talking about where the trash can is.
Right.
So a pretty good setup and an efficient use of space.
Yeah.
That's the balcony stateroom. Let's move on and talk about the ocean view stateroom. Going to save a little bit of money. Typically doesn't cost as much as a balcony, but you'll still have a view outside. The ocean view rooms run from 161 to 340 square feet and can accommodate up to 5 people.
5 people?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I can't imagine that many people, but sometimes they have the drop-down beds or whatever.
Yeah.
But the bed can be split into 2 beds if you want, and it either has a picture window like you can see here or a porthole window, depending on the particular type of room. Similar to the ocean view, there's also the inside rooms. Inside rooms, probably going to be your most economical option. Those can accommodate up to 4 people, or 135 feet to 201 square feet. And they, again, like you can see here, instead of having the queen bed together, you can have it separated, so you have 2 separate beds, depending on your preference. And let's take a look at the overhead view. So you can kind of see the layout. It's definitely a lot tighter than the balcony room, but you can kind of get the idea. The ocean view, or the typical ocean view, I should say, or the inside room, you're going to typically have your bed, a closet, little sitting area, not much, but a place to sit and do your makeup, or if you need to get some work done, and then a similar bathroom setup to what we showed you before. If you want to save a little money on any of these types of cabins, whether it's inside ocean view or otherwise, book a sail away cabin.
Yeah.
They'll pick the specific room, so you won't know your room number, but you can save some money if you let them pick your specific room.
Right.
So I wanted to show you one more before we get to the biggest room on the ship, the biggest room on board. We're going to show you the smallest room on board.
Oh boy.
And this one is only 99 square feet. And
Wow.
that is the studio stateroom. And these are rooms specifically designed for people traveling alone. So if you're traveling by yourself, or you're the odd number off in a group, and you got, the family has maybe one person that, just wouldn't fit in the other room.
Right.
You can get a studio room.
Exactly.
And the studio rooms have this really modern look, and they have a one-way window looking out into the corridor there. They've got a TV, a little table, some drawers, and a closet, of course. Here from the overhead view, you can see that the sink is kind of up there at the top, is in the room, and there's a separate bathroom area for the shower, glassed-in shower, and a separate room for the toilet. So very efficient for one person, but definitely you can see why that's only meant for one person. It's I think it's smaller than our first studio apartment.
I know.
Wow.
I think so.
So let's go from the smallest to the biggest.
Ooh, yeah.
So now we're moving to
win the lottery.
Yep, and then we're gonna have some tips for you. No matter what classroom you want, we got tips coming up. But first, we got to show you the largest stateroom on the ship is the Haven Deluxe Owner's Suite with large balcony. This one has it actually has two balconies, but this is outside the doors here. You can see the large balcony. You've got a dining area. You've got a living area with a big fancy couch. Look at that. Look at that chandelier.
I like the chandelier.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Did they give that to you?
No. You can use it while you're there for light. And the bedroom, big, and this is a king size, unlike all the other rooms we showed you where it's a queen size bed. This is a king size bed. And look at the view. Not only a big TV, but a view out looking to the ocean.
That's so nice.
So the deluxe owner suite is 1,307 square feet.
Whew.
And it can accommodate up to 6 people. It's got the king size bed that you can see at the bottom of the screen there. And then it's got a large bathroom, which I'll show you in just a minute here. And then they've got a smaller room that looks like it's got a couch that can be converted to a bed there as well. And of course, you got that huge balcony. And there's the little balcony here off of the main bedroom and bathroom there. So 2 bathrooms. There's two bathrooms, a large one and more of a standard sized one.
That room is bigger than what our house was.
I don't know about that. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. And because it's part of the Haven, you get exclusive access to certain parts of the Haven. The restaurant, the bar, the sun deck. You get a butler and a concierge service too. So yeah, that's the Haven Deluxe Owner Suite. Ooh, and here's the bathroom. I forgot to show you that.
Oh my goodness.
It not only has a bathtub with a window view, if you choose to have that. And on the other side of the 2 sinks, you got a large walk-in shower. Wow. So yeah.
You know you've made it when you have a bathtub with a window view of the ocean.
That's right. So quite a lot of cool options there. Now here's some tips you want to know whether you're ordering the smallest cabin or the largest cabin. And I think I forgot to mention that with the studio suite, even though it's like a 13th of the size of the one we just showed you, you do get exclusive access to the studio lounge.
Yeah.
What's a studio lounge?
Studio lounge has like couches and tables and chairs and
snacks.
And I was getting there.
Okay.
It comes with snacks, cookies, and
beverages.
Go ahead. Tell them what they get.
I'm in trouble now. Good job, Joy. Let's move on to the tips. So tips for booking your stateroom on Norwegian. Avoid rooms adjacent to public areas.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's loud.
Yes. If you have a bar above you or the comedy club below you or something next to you where there's a lot of people up late, you're going to hear noise.
Don't go by the elevators.
Oh, another tip is the midship rooms on lower decks have the least motion. So if you're prone to seasickness, maybe consider a lower room at midship. Get a room on deck 8 to be steps away from the waterfront and fun bars and restaurants,
Food
the
Republic,
shops, Food
the
Republic,
shops.
the District Brew House, Cagney's and Moderno Chescaria, the shops, a lot of stuff around Deck 8. And if you want to be very close to it, Deck 8 is a place to be.
Definitely.
Just walk through the doors and you're into the main heart of the ship. If you're looking for information on specific staterooms, by stateroom number, you can find more information and photos at cruisecritic.com, cruiseline.com, which is also available as the Shipmate app, and cruisedeckplans.com. Last but not least, consult a travel agent if you need any extra help on choosing a room.
Mm-hmm.
So if they found this information helpful, what should they do?
Give us a thumbs up.
That's right. It really helps us out. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. It's just a way to follow us so you don't miss our future cruise videos.
That's right.
So let's see what we have here. Cruising scene. They said nice before. Now they said nice room.
Yeah.
So thanks cruising scene for taking note of what we're showing. Sometimes I'm not sure who we're talking to or if anybody's watching, but it's nice to know that something we shared is nice, because I don't know, on days like this where we couldn't even get the camera working for about an hour, I wasn't even sure if we were going to be here. So
we don't mind talking to Casper and his friends.
Who's Casper?
Casper, the friendly ghost.
I don't want to do a YouTube show for ghosts. That's a little weird.
I know, right?
So let's talk. We shared a lot about Norwegian Escape. And if you hung with us and listened to all this and you're not even sure if you're going to be going on Norwegian Escape anytime soon, bless you. If you're thinking about going on that ship, check out our other videos. We've already put out several videos on Norwegian Escape that I think you'll find helpful, interesting, like the stuff about the food.
The food.
My favorite.
And also check out, if you plan on going on Carnival, check out our videos for Carnival.
Are we going to go through all the cruise lines? If you're in some Royal Caribbean, check out our Royal Caribbean videos. And if you like Disney, hey, we're going to be going on Disney again next month.
I know, I'm so excited.
Speaking of what's coming up, what do we have planned for our video next week? Do you remember?
I had it.
Basically, next week we're going to... Do you have it?
No, I can't find it.
Okay. So I think the title for next week's show should be called kind of the slogan that we've thrown out before, which is, let's make every day a cruise day.
That's right.
Because your idea that you're working on for next week is basically what you do when you love to cruise, but you can't be on a cruise ship.
Oh, man.
That's the topic, right?
It is.
So if you're wanting to fill the time, because we have a cruise coming up next month. We're going to be on the Disney Wish. But then we have like an 7-8 month stretch before our next cruise, unless we book something in between. So what do you do during all that time? Because we can't be the only ones that have countdowns in the double or triple digits.
Oh my goodness.
What do you do to keep the cruise spirit and cruise fun alive? That's next week. So be sure to join us. Another reason to subscribe.
Exactly.
If you haven't subscribed,
we'll give you the answers.
We'll give you the answers.
Yeah, to help them know what to do when you're not able to cruise.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you for joining us today. Anything else we need to share before we do the old farewell so long? Auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for watching.
Okay. I gotta find the button.